Hey everybody, it's Max McAllister from Cycle with Max. I'm going to give you some shifting tips and techniques. I've got to do several videos on this topic today. And so one we want to talk about is shifting up and down off of from your big ring to little ring and vice versa. So using your front derailleur. Now, one of the keys to this is kind of understanding what's going to happen and what your sensation is. I'm sure you've experienced this. So if you're riding on the small chain ring and you shift onto the big chain ring, the sensation, the giant, huge jump in pressure that you're experiencing is going to feel like you shifted 3 gears on the rear cassette. So that's too much for basically any cyclist to try and compensate for. So usually you're going to adjust your rear cassette backwards 1 to 2 gears depending on your situation, 2 being most common. All you're looking for when you shift is the sensation that you changed 1 gear as a rule. So when you go on the big ring, your next move is going to be to click back 2 gears on your right hand. Now the opposite's true when you come off the big ring. So when you come off the big ring, you sense that sensation that your legs have sped up and you start bouncing on the saddle. Okay, so to avoid that, you have to anticipate that. So that's what we're going to work on. One thing I need you to understand is how your derailleur applies tension to your chain, okay? So the spring in your derailleur, as you go onto the big ring and as you move to a bigger cog, you're adding tension to the spring holds tension on the chain. In that case, there's no chance of the chain bouncing and bouncing off or coming off of the bike or falling off completely. Since that's the case, you can do all those shifts at the same time. The opposite is not true. So when you come off of the big ring and down onto the little ring, you're creating massive slack in the chain that lets it slap, okay? So since you want to come off of the big ring and go down your cassette 2 cogs, you don't want to do that all at once. You want to do it sequentially so that the chain slaps the least amount and has the least likely tendency to fall off to the inside and derail completely. So when you do that, shift off of your big ring first and then shift with your right hand. So I'll show you what this looks like. So if we are pedaling along, let me get in here. So I'm pedaling along, I want to go to my big ring. I go and here's that big increase in load and effort and a reduction in cadence. What I really wanted was that plus 2 back shifts. Okay, there's where I wanted to be. All right, so this, since we're tensioning the chain, we can do it all at once. So I'm going to go like this. That was my 1 shift. I did it all in 1 instant, okay? Now, to avoid dropping my chain, in reverse, we're going to do it sequentially. Off of the big ring, 1, 2, with my cassette to compensate. This will make for a smooth shift. Also reducing that gradually will control some of the, if you're prepared for it, you won't do so much bouncing in the saddle as your cadence speeds up. So you've probably all experienced you know, the situation where you drop this and you know, your chain derails and all of a sudden you're bouncing in the saddle. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to pick your cadence up real quick. Make sure the chain catches and you shift properly. And we're going to talk about this under a climbing situation here shortly in another video. But so that's to help you understand how that the derailleurs and the chain work together and how to do those shifts smoothly. All right. So I'm Max. Please share this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.